Another dream about him.
Okay. Hello.
Howdy, my friend.
Hello, all of you. Tuning into the podcast or tuning in live. Oh, hang on.
Testing.
I got the audio up on the stream. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Larissa says
we did it.
Well, technically, I was about to say we did it, but then I realized I had the actual stream up for the chat and not muted. So a little background chatter there, but
we'll take that. I'm taking that as a W.
We take those, you know.
We do.
We have faces. We have audio. Larissa says we live. Yeah, we're live. We made it. We're here. How are you doing, my friend?
We're here, baby. Yo, I'm glad you texted me because I knew it was Friday, but I just was completely lost in the time, and I was like, oh gosh, yeah. Yeah,
well, I did the announcement on the Discord, and then I thought, well, he may not have seen it, so I thought, let me send him a little text. So
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, buddy. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing all right. I've been finding a little bit of a headache all day, which, never the most fun thing, but it's not too bad.
Have you had your coffee yet?
I have. So, it's not, well, maybe I haven't had enough coffee, but I was going to say it's not caffeine withdrawal, presumably, but yeah, I might be a little dehydrated. Maybe that might be it.
Did you do your walk today?
How about you?
Did you do your walk today?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Did you do your walk?
Yeah. Sorry.
This is conference call.
Yeah, I did. I did it this morning.
No, you go. No. There's a skit I saw. It was like it was called something like why every business conference call is so awkward, and it was like a guy who called like a team, and they were all trying to do this conference call, and it was just really awkward. And finally, the guy goes, "So what can we do for you today?" And they're like, "You called us." Like, he's like, "Oh, yeah, well," just very, it's just good corpo satire, I guess.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm doing okay today. I'm a little apprehensive. We got a baby coming soon.
I know, man.
Got to figure all that out. So, excited to have a baby. This is our third, and but nervous about just like I was hanging out with some friends yesterday, and one of them was like, "Yes, are you getting any time off? Like, you getting a paternity leave?" And I was like, "No." And then I kind of joked. I was like, I don't have anyone to give me that, right? Like, I don't work for somebody,
Yeah, that's one of the downsides of doing your own thing.
Yeah. Right. And then I was talking to somebody else the other day who he was like, oh, it's sweet, man. They give the dads like 3 months paid paternity leave. And I was like, bro,
So
that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, so you've met Jordan.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I have.
His company he had 3 months, which like I had never heard of that for a dad before.
Yeah, the company that I used to work for several years ago did about that. They did about 3 months, and even then, it was kind of like, and take more time if you need to. I think sometimes, I'm gonna get on my little political soapbox for a second. I think sometimes, as for those who are listening who are Americans, I don't think we realize how dystopian certain things are until you actually see what life is like in other countries. Because there are other countries and other societies where the father gets even more than 3 months off. And so, I just feel a little, especially when I meet like a couple, when I meet a young couple, as if I have these conversations a lot.
Still full of life and hope.
But, I talked to someone who like, oh yeah, I'm going to get a few days off. And I'm like, dude, as a dad, like that's such a special time, man. Like,
yeah,
I just feel bad. I think, anyway. And then now that I'm really like on a roll with this, I was playing D&D the other night with one of my campaign groups, and we were doing like some small talk before everyone got there. And one of my buddies who they just had their first like 6 months ago, he gives me like this 1,000-yard stare, and he's like, I'm just realizing I sleep for a third of my day, and then I'm gone most of my day, and then I only really get a little bit of time with my daughter. And like I feel like something's weird about that. And I'm like, yeah, man, that's anyway. We have our fan Larissa who's like, emoji hands preach, So the three of us all agree, at least. So
100%. It is weird, man. Like that is just, well, I guess it's a good thing that a new dad is still getting a third of his day of sleep.
True, actually. Yeah. Well, there's actually, not to like get weird about like, here's how parenting works. There's like a point where you like finally get back to a semi-normal schedule. And it is usually around like the 6 to 12 month mark. And that's like around where they are. My kids, God love them, really took about a year to to get back to normalcy. So
that's one of my, not really a fear, but I don't know the appropriate word to you. That's one of my biggest like, oh gosh, I think that's going to be really hard for me.
It is hard.
Like the sleep deprivation.
And I think it's okay. Like speaking to like the nuance of just things, like I think it's okay to be like, hey, this really sucks and it's really hard, and that doesn't take away from like any other of the specialness.
Yeah.
Because there was definitely a moment with my son, our second one, where it was like 2 a.m. or something, and Joy had gone back to sleep, and I was holding him, and he's like writhing, like I can't get him to like calm down. I'm so freaking exhausted, dude. And I literally, in my head, I just thought, I hate this feeling. This is the worst feeling I've ever had in my entire. I hate this feeling, and I never want to have kids again. Like I never want to go through this again. So I'm excited to experience that again here in the near future. But you get so tired, man. I will say you realize, like, think about the nights that you were up late. Like maybe it was like a game bender or something, and you got like 6 hours or 5 hours, and you're like, man, I'm tired. You don't realize how far tired you can go. Like when you've had like a few hours, several nights in a row, and you're like, okay, now I am tired. But anyway. So, and also not to, I hope none of that comes across as like complaining about, I know there's like this thing online about, why do you complain about kids? You shouldn't have had kids. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm just,
this is a safe space. I think that that's a natural thing. I think anybody that tries to pretend that it's all sunshine and rainbows is being disingenuous.
I will say I did run into a couple like maybe 6 or 7 months ago where they had just had a new baby. And I said, I was like, yeah, well, how's the baby sleeping? And because typically it's just a tough transition. And we're like, oh, it's the weirdest thing. Like she sleeps through the night. Like the doctor has told us to wake the baby up to feed the baby because she sleeps so good. And I'm like, I'm so happy for you. That's good for you.
Yeah, it is crazy how like, I mean, I don't have any kids, but I've heard that like one baby will be like the most perfect angel, and the next one will be like the hardest thing you've ever had to deal with. So maybe their next one will, give them what's coming to them.
Both of our kids are like that. I've heard that too. Both of our kids are like the exact same person. Like
really?
just boy and girl versions. It's kind of funny. Like they both cry the same way, like whine the same way. They both have like the same type of tantrums, and it's just kind of funny. They're cute as can be, but anyway.
Well, maybe this third one will be the perfect sleeper.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Yeah,
I don't know what that means when someone says that, by the way. Someone like whips out these expressions and you're like, okay, yeah, hold me to it.
Yeah. I always get curious about like the etymology of stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, let's get into a little bit of the chatter today. Did you watch Age of Umbra last night?
I watched most of the first half.
What'd you think?
I did not see the whole thing. What about you?
Excuse me. I watched about an hour into the second half.
Okay.
So about 3/4 of it.
That was most of it then, right?
Yeah. There's a combat scene or combat that happens on the back end that I didn't watch. Okay. So most of the fluff's the wrong word. It makes it sound like there's no substance. Most of the meat of the episode I watched.
Laura and who else? Do they ever join?
Not that I saw.
Okay.
There's a lot of theories about Laura and Liam. And some people think maybe they are villains that are going to join at some point, which I wonder how that would work from a table dynamics perspective.
Yeah.
Something maybe it's a Chetney situation, like as the party, goes about the story, they come across these two adventurers.
Yeah.
I don't know. What if it was like total fan service and they're like, hey, I'm Vax and I'm Vex. We're brothers and sisters. It's like,
we are plane walkers from Exandria.
Yeah.
Okay. Were they in the session 0?
They were not. They were not in the session 0.
That's even more intriguing.
But I think I'm not remembering correctly. Someone in chat can help us. I think there was a comment from CR about it was like with Laura and Liam joining later or something to that effect. I don't think it's like pure conjecture. I think it has been confirmed they're joining at some point, but they were not in the session 0. Session 0 was a lot of fun. What was your reaction to seeing Dagger? Because this was the first time I've really watched Daggerheart. Was
Same.
that okay? How did you feel about the Daggerheart system?
I thought it was cool. I still don't really get it. Like, I mean, I saw, I like started the stream like right when it started. I saw that there was like a video of Matt like beforehand explaining the rules. So I need to go back and watch that. I mean, I get like the gist of it, but I'm still trying to piece together. Like, I guess rolling the same number regardless of the number is a crit. Is that right?
I don't know.
I thought that was a cool.
Let's be clear. We are not the two people to talk about to talk this through. Yeah, something like that. I think you're right because I think Sam's first roll was double 2s or double 4s, and they're like, "Oh, our first roll's a crit. It's a great sign," or something. Which is funny because it looked like Sam's character was about to die after that.
Yeah.
And then I think Travis had double 12s later. Because and they are D12s, not D20s. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they are.
And Glimmy says Liam and Laura's names are in the credits, so they will be in the show. And that yes, doubles equals crit. So there you go.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think I have a good enough understanding to really have an opinion on it yet. But so far, so good. It's a nice new change of pace.
Did it feel like Critical Role to you?
Yes and no.
Despite it not being D&D?
It felt like Critical Role to me just because I've seen them play other systems before.
Yeah.
So it didn't really like ping for me as like a difference in that way. So I don't know. I guess I might revisit that at the end of this series and feel like if it.
Yeah.
Because it feels like it's always been about the story.
Yeah.
even when it was D&D. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how much that really ever mattered to me.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I feel the same way. I mean, it was despite Robbie not being there, which I was like, I was like, yeah, this feels. It almost felt like we were back, even though I know we aren't fully back. But it was kind of like we're back.
Yeah.
I also like, just speaking about Daggerheart, I like how they simplified the stat system of, instead of like having the raw numbers that then you get the actual bonus number, it looks like they just cut out the raw numbers entirely and it's just flat. Here's your +1, -1, or no bonus, which seems very intuitive in hindsight.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really don't understand, not because it's complex, just because I haven't put the time in to get it yet, the fear, hope, and stress systems.
Yeah.
Of like, as a currency, not fully certain. The way it's been described makes sense functionally. Like, oh well, fear is a currency that the DM can use to. I think the way it was described was like make combat more interesting or like surprise the players. But I'm also like, okay, but what is there, like a list of, like, for the new DM, like 1 fear equals
right
an owlbear runs in, or oh, that's 2 fear.
I was wondering about that,
stuff like that. And then I know for long rest, they spend a hope instead of just getting everything back. I think I read that someone mentioned in chat, like you spend a hope and then you choose, I think, getting health back maybe. I don't know. I can't remember if there were spell slots or not. But, and then stress, I have no idea what stress is or how it works. So.
Yeah, all that was going over my head too. But I thought it was cool how like the I guess it's the fear that the DM has, and Matt has little. What are those, like a abacus? Is that what the word I'm looking for? Reminded me of that little abacus counter.
Yeah. Other things that were really nice. Hello, Bun saying hiya. Other things I really liked. Larissa mentioned this too, and this also got mentioned a lot in our chat last night. The new set looked really cool. I wonder if it will change again for campaign 4, which, I mean, there's a lot of skulls, so probably. Otherwise, unless it's like an ominous campaign 4. Set looked great, but I was also going to say the soundtrack was new and really nice, and nice to hear some new tracks, some new background atmosphere.
Agreed. The set was crazy. I definitely think it'll be a different set for C4. They can afford it, I'm sure. But yeah, I thought it was incredible, and the intro was really cool too. Like a lot of production value. Very Dark Souls.
Yes, I'd say very Elden Ring-ish.
Yeah,
I don't know. Is there a distinction there between the two? I'm not sure. I don't know. But
between Dark Souls and Elden Ring?
Well, I was saying I said Elden Ring because one of the characters reminded me of an Elden Ring character, but then in hindsight, you could say the same thing about Dark Souls. And then the point I was making was, when I say Elden Ring-ish, am I even really adding anything different to the comment of, like, is there really even a distinction between the two? So
I get what you're saying.
So,
speaking of, not that we need to like talk about this, but it just reminded me that Night Rain came out today or yesterday.
Yesterday, I saw people streaming it. I didn't check it out. Did you check it out? Okay.
Good talk.
They're doing a movie. They're doing an Elden Ring movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man.
I saw that.
I don't know, man.
I don't know,
man.
Like it's already like the perfect vessel for like the narrative it's telling. And we've talked about this before, but like one of the best things about Elden Ring is the fact that like the story is in the accoutrement. Like you pick it up as you go, and like you.
Bro, slow down, my friend. I don't even know what you just said. What just happened?
So I feel like it's gonna be weird to like force it into like an actual like 3-act narrative that a movie would follow.
Yeah. Did you
like,
say?
I'm not saying they can't do it justice.
Sorry.
Hopefully they do.
Did you say accoutrement? Is that?
Yeah. I might be using that wrong.
You can know I'm gonna just throw that in later today with a total stranger and just nonchalant. Maybe.
So
anyway.
I don't know if my understanding of what it means is like the
Yeah.
extras, like the
Yeah.
window dressing.
Yeah. It's kind of disparate across the world. You discover pieces of the lore, which has always been a key part
Like
of a Dark Souls game.
thing.
Yeah, right. I don't know if Sekiro had the same type, but definitely all through Dark Souls it was like that.
I need to play the Dark Souls, man, because I loved Elden Ring.
They're good. It's a different style of game. It's a little slower in the sense of like movement, and like there's no horse, and it's not. It is a world. Like you're not going like from one level to the next, but it's not like you don't come out of a building and see like the world amount around you to explore.
Yeah.
It's more of you go through here or to this place, or but it is one world. Great games though.
I've heard they're amazing, but that is like the downside is I feel like I've been spoiled having like the perfected version of what they've like. I feel like Dark Souls was kind of building towards Elden Ring in terms of like game design and stuff. So I feel like it might be hard to go back, but I do want to.
I mean, they're really good. They are really good, and there's some great lore and just atmosphere with those games. Having played those games to like near 100% completion, Elden Ring feels like the perfect evolution of those games.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah, Elden Ring, and I still need to finish Elden Ring. But yeah, I will say though, movie, I don't know, man. It feels like this is like capitalism taking a little swing at our Elden Ring franchise. You know, I'm kind of like, come on, man. This would be like, for me, this would be like Bethesda announcing there's going to be a Skyrim movie, or like Nintendo being like there's going to be a Zelda movie, and you're like,
well, did you know that there is going to be a Zelda movie?
No, I did not know that. No,
I don't know any details, but I know it's a thing.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Which
I heard the Mario movie was good though. I never saw it.
Yeah, I heard it was good too. I didn't see it either. I started to watch it on the plane when I came home from Iceland, but I fell asleep. Not because the movie was boring, but it was because it was like a long plane ride.
The only like controversy I saw about that movie was them not getting the I think it was like the original Mario voice actor versus Chris Pratt. Nothing against Chris Pratt. I just which then that segued into like, what are we doing to defend or protect voice actors? Which, not that individual was taken advantage of with the movie, but besides the point for today's conversation. But it's hard for me to envision any of those like game to movie adaptations. Like I'm trying to think of like when there was an actually good game to movie adaptation. Like some of you guys in the chat, you gotta. Did you ever see
I feel like there's been one.
Did you ever see the other Mario movie with John Leguizamo?
I loved that movie as a kid. With John Leguizamo.
Yeah. I'm glad you pronounced it first, because you know I'm.
Yeah, I don't. That's probably not right.
I was gonna say John Leguizamo. I was like, I don't think that's right.
Like, I haven't seen it in decades at this point, and I like thinking back on it. Like it's like it's not Mario at all, but like I loved it as a kid, being like, oh, it's Mario, you know?
Yeah. I liked it as a kid too.
I think I can't remember what it is, but I feel like there has been like one good video game movie, but I don't remember.
Doom was bad. I think what other. Let's see. Game to movie adaptations.
Ooh, Clue was. I wasn't even considering that, but you guys are right.
You can't say Clue, guys. You can't say Clue.
Technically.
I mean, I guess. That has Tim Curry in it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be great regardless.
With different endings.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Tetris movie.
Mortal Kombat. I don't know if that was a good movie. Max Payne with Mark Wahlberg. No. Resident Evil. I don't know. I feel like that has a little bit of a cult following. Some people really like it. The peak adaptation, Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within.
Oh my gosh.
You remember that? So there was a Hitman movie too, which I wasn't crazy about either. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I wonder if it'll be. I guess it's gonna be live action. The Elden Ring movie.
Yeah, I think so.
That's another thing. Why don't they ever just do an anime? Like, like why wasn't the World of Warcraft movie just like a 2-hour Blizzard cinematic?
Another example. I mean, and I liked.
Like, why don't they just go that direction?
I liked the WoW movie, just being a long-term WoW player.
Yeah, it wasn't like
objectively not
terrible.
a great movie though. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I think also though, like Blizzard has, I don't know. It kind of makes sense in hindsight because Blizzard's really not known as that company anymore. And I think even like some of their trailers are outsourced to a third party these days. I'm almost certain. Like I think there's a company that I've looked at before.
That would honestly make sense because I mean, knowing Blizzard these days.
Yeah, the name escapes me, but that's what they do. They do trailers and things like that, and they're really freaking good at it.
Yeah,
I'm actually really.
It's always been one of their
curious.
Best attributes. Although I don't remember his name, but I think it's like A24 that's doing the Elden Ring movie, and it's like a director whose previous movies I've liked.
Yeah.
But I can't remember who it was or what the other movies were.
Let me see here. I'm just so curious. Blur Studios is what I was thinking of, by the way. And they've done a lot of stuff. They did, I think, some Secret Level. Oh, they did do Secret Level. Gears of War. They've done a lot of stuff here. Anyway, besides the point. But yeah, A24, Elden Ring. What did that guy do?
Larissa, that's hilarious.
Let's see.
It is crazy. While you're looking that up, it is crazy how, like, in terms of video animation, but also like video games, like seeing how that evolves. Because like as kids, when like the N64 came out, but then like especially when like the PlayStation 2 came out, and you're like, whoa, these graphics are insane. Like it could never get better. And then like you look back and they're like, those were awful.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I thought this guy, Alex Garland, I thought I read that he did Civil War, but I don't see him on. I don't see it listed here. So
what did he do?
Let's see. Alex Garland.
There's at least one of his movies that I was familiar with.
Oh, he did do Civil War.
Oh, Ex Machina. Yes. I loved that movie.
Did not see Ex Machina. He did Annihilation. He did 28.
See, these are all good.
He did 28 Years Later? What? You got to see the filmography here.
So could Elden Ring be good? I don't know.
He was the writer, or was a writer for Civil War. Okay, so he's the writer for all these. Which one did he actually produce? Let's see. Oh, he
should watch Ex Machina.
He directed Ex Machina. Now that I'm seeing, so he wrote and directed and Annihilation.
Got an actor you like in it too.
I've never even heard of Ex Machina.
Don't read too much about it.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, it's got this dude. Oh man. Speaking of names, I'm gonna ruin Domhnall Gleeson.
Yeah, that's who I was talking about.
He has a funny bit on how to actually pronounce his name, and even with him explaining it, I could not do it. So, anyway, I love that actor. I think he's awesome. He's great in About Time, a great feel-good movie, by the way.
It is a good movie.
My wife and I said we were going to watch it every year, and then we never watched it again. So, anyway.
I love that. We got a lot of stuff like that, too.
Yeah.
Well, weird connective tissue here is that we had this idea for like a fun like dinner and a movie like date night tradition where like one person would cook, the other person would like pick the movie, and then we would like, I don't know if it was like a journal or what, but then we would like chronicle it, being like, this is what we cooked and this is the movie we paired with it, and like here was our review of the movie. We did it one time.
That reminds me of this social media post that went viral, where it was like a young guy and a young girl, like in their early 20s, and they were like, we've started this thing that we like to do called Bottle Night, where we put our phones away, we split a bottle of wine, and we just talk about like what's going on in life, and it's like basically like IDK, y'all should try it or something. And like one of the comments was like, isn't that just like having a conversation? Like, I don't know, man. That sounds like what normal people do. But anyway. So anyway, enough about that. Larissa says, Will, my brother and I did the same thing called D&D Dinner. D&D.
Oh, that's amazing.
Or D&D Inner. I don't know which one it is.
I like D&D. Oh wait, yeah.
D&D Dinner?
D&D Dinner, I think.
Yeah. There was something else I was going to say from this chat that I love to communicate. I love to communicate. Hates communicating. Going way back to Daggerheart, I was going to point something out that I didn't point out earlier. There's no initiative in combat with Daggerheart. So I am keen to watch that second half just to see how it plays out, because I'm so curious how that works. But then Larissa said combat has no initiative, and it makes for instantly more engaging combat for players. No scrolling on phone, no building dice towers. Dude, some people, I never knew anything about dice towers until I had a player in my party who he's like, oh, I got to get the dice tower together, you know? And so this is like a thing. Everyone waiting for their moment to jump in. That's pretty interesting, you know.
Yeah, I'm curious to see like how that works.
Yeah, well, because you know we've all like lived through, you know, the person like, hey, it's your turn. Huh? Oh, where am I? Oh, I'll Eldritch Blast, and you know. So they go back to their phone. That and the doodler too. The person who's like doodling or like answering emails or something, or you know. Anyway,
classic.
Yes, it is. Well, one question as we start to wrap up, I asked this in the Discord, and maybe it's too soon. Do you think, having seen the first half of Age of Umbra, is it more or less palatable to think about a C4 campaign in Daggerheart, or is it still like, haven't even thought about it, I'd have to see it after 8 episodes? What's your process with that, or your processing with that?
I haven't really thought about it. I think I wouldn't. Ultimately, it wouldn't be a big deal to me either way, because kind of what we talked about earlier. Like this, I definitely understand other people having other perspectives, but for me, I don't really care about the system underneath it that much. It's more about, you know, the storytelling and stuff. So it'd be an adjustment, but you know, I don't think it would matter to me. Maybe after Umbra, I'll be like, whoa, I really want them to do Daggerheart. But I definitely don't think I would be like, I'm really against this.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Sorry, my kids are coming home. One sec.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like, I mean, obviously I play D&D, so I'd love to see D&D. But yeah, watching it last night, I was like, oh, I really don't even really think about that much about the system. I do think that there's definitely like a business side. Hang on one sec. There's definitely like a business side to this of, you know, I imagine Hasbro, Wizards of the Coast, I mean, Critical Role is, I would assume, one of their biggest creative partners, if not the biggest. And so I imagine there's probably some business conversations happening of, you know, we'd like you to do D&D or use the D&D system, or,
yeah,
you know,
that's a great point. Like maybe they could get some extra funding if they continue to do it.
I mean, I could see that, but I also don't know. So
yeah,
I guess we'll see. We got 7 weeks left of this story, including a week off for 4th of July. So I guess we'll start to know maybe in the fall what that system will look like. So Larissa did make a good point. I wonder if CR isn't trying to divest themselves from Wizards of the Coast following Perkins and Crawford's exit.
Yeah.
Which, do we know where Jeremy Crawford has ended up, by the way? Is he starting another?
I do not.
Okay. Yeah, definitely some massive talent churn coming from Wizards of the Coast. So good job, Hasbro. But anyway. Well, I think that'll do it. I think that'll do. Anything else you want to add?
That'll do, donkey.
That's what I was trying to do, but yours was, you know, much better.
You got any big plans this weekend?
Have a birthday party tomorrow for a friend of mine. And otherwise, just working and getting ready for this baby.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So,
all hands on deck over there.
Yep. But anyway, what about you?
No, not really. Just since I was out of town last weekend, just doing a little bit of catch up, but nothing exciting.
A little ketchup and mustard.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Hot dogging it, as they say.
Which reminds me of an old, yeah, no, I think it's a little questionable how you might use it these days. It does remind me of a really old Whitest Kids You Know skit where the doctor's talking to the guy and he's like, so how many hot dogs do you eat per day? And he's like, a couple. And then he ends up like, walk me through your day. And like by the time he's at like 10 o'clock, he's like, so we're up to 7. So it's an old classic skit. But
and I haven't seen any of their skits in a minute.
I think the main guy died a few years ago.
Oh gosh.
I think he fell off a balcony. It's really tragic.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And like, when did that happen?
I think 2022.
Like a while back?
Yeah, a few years ago.
Dang.
I think Trevor was his name. I can't remember his last name. Well, on that note.
Yeah, on that cheery note.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in today. We'll have our Age of Umber episode 2 next week. We'll have Worlds Beyond Number at some point in the next week. We'll have a little Calamity rewatch sometime this summer. We're getting close to that point. And otherwise, join the Discord. We'll see you there.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, y'all.